What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And a quick reminder, this Friday, we're going to be doing Game of the Month, and this Thursday, we're going to be doing Plus Club, so make sure to play XCOM 2 and Trials Fusion, both off for free on PlayStation Plus. Play those, come back this Thursday. We'll talk about it on Plus Club, and our Game of the Month is Warframe. It's free to play. You can download on almost everything that's current, modern, and yeah, we'll talk about that on Friday as well. So make sure to play those because it's coming up real fast. I've done all three of them so far, but I need to do a little bit more on all of them. I need to get footage for all of them. But you pretty much caught up? You've been playing them a little bit?
I played all three. I need to play more of Warframe specifically. There's an aspect in Trials I would like to try, but it would not, I don't think, affect my opinion too much.
I feel pretty I've played all these games quite a bit already, so
I bought Trials when it came out.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, make sure to play those games. Come back at the end of the week. I cannot talk. Baby is apparently getting sick, which is weird for me because I've never been sick during summer. Also, another quick reminder, we have Discord. Make sure to go down in the description box, hit the link, talk to us anytime, post some memes. Everyone in there's really friendly, but there is no censoring. People say a lot of weird shit in there, so be prepared for that, but it's a good time. And we are also on iTunes and other podcast platforms. Make sure to go there and listen to us if you prefer that on your drive to work, wherever the hell you're doing when you listen to us. And if you're listening to us, make sure to watch us on YouTube at Tasty Loot Gaming. Hit the subscribe button if you would be so kind to do so if you want to. But yeah, we have 3 bits of news to talk about today. Kind of getting back into the swing of things. There's actually stuff to talk about after E3, which is kind of nice. E3 was very busy for us, as it was for everybody. And yeah, so let's get into it. The first bit of news is some Fortnite news. Apparently, Epic is looking into changing the game up enough to kind of take away from the building aspect of Battle Royale and make it more diverse in the ways that the games can end. What they said was it's important to support a variety of late game strategies that don't boil down to just build, lol. We strongly believe that the evolution of Fortnite supports a wide range of playstyles and counterplay. Currently, the superiority of shotguns, rockets, and uncapped building are such a dominant playstyle in the final circle that most other strategies are being drowned out. They also said you should be able to find victory royales, which is when you win, through multiple strategies. A lot of people have been complaining that the end game does always amount to who built the best building and who got shotguns and rocket launchers, because a lot of people will just build up a building, shoot their rockets at other people, and shotguns are apparently very OP in the game. And you can imagine if you're trying to get in somebody's fort, they have a shotgun, they have a good defense. So yeah, what do we think about Epic listening to the community? This actually has the community torn because there's people who like this, and there's people like me who would like to see different strategies come out. Yeah, exactly. So what do we think about them listening and carefully trying to evolve the game to something that everybody will want to play? Because obviously these guys want everybody to play this game.
right. Well, first and foremost, I think it shows a healthy reminder of how hungry Epic is to make this work.
PUBG. Look, keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Take notes.
That being said, all online games, every single one, the moment you make a tweak of any sort, people are going to bitch.
Yep.
It's just the way it is. You just have to find that balance of if they bitch and leave, or they bitch and then get used to it and forget that they were bitched. So I think, though, overall, it would be better for them to diversify it, because otherwise, with the exception of a handful of people, I think people will get bored quicker and fall off faster if it's just the same thing over and over and over again. Which, I mean, you could argue is the case because it's a purely competitive game, but at the same time, if the ending is always the same, which it shouldn't be, in my opinion, in a game like this, you should not be expecting what the end is going to be. I mean, that's kind of the idea, I think, in my mind, of what a battle royale game should be anyways. So I don't know. I mean, if anyone's gonna figure out, it's gonna be these guys. Are a huge company to begin with, and they got the player base to test around. I mean, these guys recently introduced the shopping cart, and people found an exploit They took it out.
Jetpacks
put
are
it
gone
back
too.
in. They took it out. They put it back in. You know, they're not afraid of taking things out of the game to fix.
They've taken a bunch of
stuff.
shit out. Like I said, Jetpack came in, they got rid of it.
Yeah.
It might be in the Save the World edition. I don't know. Would be cool if they just put that stuff into there, because there's no competitive edge to that. But yeah, they definitely. This game is ever evolving at a crazy fucking level. I've never seen a game have so many changes, so many things added and taken away and added and taken away as this game. So they're being very, very aggressive with this game. They are doing what PUBG didn't do. They see what they got. They see the potential, and they're not fucking around with it. I agree with most things you said. It is cool to see them actively listening to the community, because I actually appreciate Fortnite. Played Save the World version of it when it came out. Paid money for it. I love that game. It's really fun. The Battle Royale, I'm glad it did really well. And I'm a guy who likes Battle Royale games. I like competitive shooters. But I don't play Fortnite all too much, and it is mostly because of, there's a couple factors there, but the biggest factor for me is the building. When people started, because at first it just felt like any other battle royal, and then eventually got to the point where people would start spinning like a tornado and just build a building as soon as you shot him. You get like the drop on a dude, he's not looking at you, shoot him in the back, he goes and just builds a building real quick. And now you're like, and now the whole fight has changed. And I can respect that. That guy's fucking using a tactic that's available to him. I won't bitch about it, but it's more work than I want to put into, like, even in like Halo, you got to take the dude's shield down, fucking shoot him down, whittle him down, and get close enough, and you just fucking bash him. That's about as much work I want to put into killing someone in a game as possible. Gears of War takes
a balance.
Yeah. And I love it. The game feels good, and Fortnite, has that. People may love that, but that's just, I am one of these people who are like, I'd like to see the end not just be who has the craziest building, because I have played Fortnite to the end multiple times, and it does just turn into whoever got to that center point builds the fucking building. Everybody's like gathering materials to be building that huge ass building and getting all the weapons that they need to defend it. And I get that, but yeah, at the end, you do want different scenarios to play out. It's very important. Another example of that is H1Z1. I got to the point where almost every time I was getting to the end of a match, everybody had a vehicle and turned to Destruction Derby.
Yep. The
first couple times, like, this is funny. But after a while, I'm like, this is boring. I don't want to have to always get ready for the end Destruction Derby. This is the exact same thing. I mean, and literally, I'm getting... like with a different game, I'm having the same effect. Like I was like, do I want to keep doing this?
Fatiguing.
Yeah. And the matches that don't do it, I'm like, oh, this is why I enjoy this game. PUBG has a great balance. I'm giving them that. Like the end game is like at the end when it's like 5 of you left, it's fucking tense. Like you don't know where the hell they're at. Everybody's crawling around, creeping through buildings, crawling through bushes, and it's really fucking intense. You don't know what's gonna happen. Sometimes there's a vehicle involved, but it's not like H1Z1 where it's a fucking destruction derby and there's just cars honking horns everywhere, fucking slamming each other. And you're jumping out of your vehicle trying to kill a dude and get back in your vehicle and keep driving before you get hit. It's fun, but it gets boring. And then like Fortnite, fucking, it's not like whoever built the fortress first, and now you have to invade it. It's neat if that happens sometimes, but if they do, and I kind of go on a rant here, but like if they do lower the amount of materials you can carry, which is something they've talked about and people have bitched about, I think it would add more to the team dynamic of like, okay, well, you grab that shit, I'll grab this shit. We can build something, but not like a fucking giant Fort Knox, right? Because like it does make every single... It's like the Destruction Derby. Make sure you have a vehicle. This is like, make sure you got materials to build a fucking building. So once we get to the end, we're going to have to build a city here to survive. Yeah. And it is fatiguing. And it is one of the reasons why I don't like to play Fortnite. It's just because that is boring to me. And it's amazing to see all the strategies people come up with Fortnite. That's something that game offers that no other game I know of does.
For sure.
The creativity on how to win is fucking awesome. But it seems like that all happens mid-game. Yeah. Not at the end. The end's always the same, it seems. And so, yeah, they got to find that balance. And I think they will. Because, I mean, so far they've shown to be way more than competent on this game. So I'm actually excited to see what they do, because maybe they can pull me back in. Maybe they can get it so I can play the game, because, the game plays really tight, good controls, looks cool. I like all the weapons or whatever. But, yeah, I did get really bored of just, like, how much building is, like, the bigger aspect of the survival. Right. Yeah, I mean, you could fight somebody who's, like, not as skilled as you in gunplay. And I guess that's kind of a cool balance to allow them to have a different way of besting you. But when everybody is doing that. It's just like, oh great, I'm gonna shoot this guy. He's gonna fucking build a goddamn building around him instantly. So I just don't like always expecting something, and I know it's gonna happen.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. I'm sure everyone who's skilled in that game is like, oh, you got to build a building, but I don't want to get good at that. It's not interesting to me. I don't want to go hide in a box every time I get shot at.
Yeah.
So I had a lot to say on that. Anything else you want to say on that?
No, I mean, I pretty much said my piece. I think we both agree that the diversity is what keeps it exciting, and not the stagnant predictability.
Yeah.
So.
And another thing I just want to add real fast is I'm glad that they are thinking about, because in the beginning of this article, they also said that all those people who are complaining about that, we hear you. That's why we're talking about this. That's awesome, because like they're trying to not alienate the people who like the system, but they also want to make the game welcoming to other people. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. They're not saying fuck you to anybody, which is the best thing to do, especially nowadays. It seems like if you're on one side or the other on the debate, whoever's making that will tell one group, hey, fuck you. We're doing this. And it's like, well, why don't we just try and bring some fucking harmony in the world and have people
and talk,
all want to, engage on the same thing and not fucking cut down the middle and everything. So I really appreciate the way they're going about this. Let's know in the comments, what do you think about Fortnite's Battle Royale? What do you think about them making these changes? How do you think they can make these changes to really make everyone happy? Or is there a specific way you'd want them to do it? Fuck the other group. Do you want them to get rid of building completely? Do you like the way it is? Do you not play Battle Royals? Let us know in the comments. Everything you're thinking about when it comes to Fortnite, Battle Royale, or all Battle Royals in general. Second bit of news.
So Ni no Kuni recently updated with PS4 and PC improvements. The PC ones are mostly control stuff, but I'm going to just kind of rattle off the PS4 ones real fast. Improved the game stability, added a shortcut for save in the main menu, added a special icon on the message that appears before the battle with tainted monsters, added region names on the map menu when zoomed out, made lock-unlock settings for equipment so that you don't accidentally sell something you have equipped, changed the color of the skirmish flag when the battle is cleared, changed the timing of the pose during the victory screen when the battle is finished, added help comment for citizen rank up and save. They fixed a bug in Side Quest 51, which wouldn't progress even if you had met the requirements, and a bug in Chapter 6, which revolved around certain actions you would take with the switches. I'm trying to be a little vague in case you haven't played the game. And then some other notes real quick. They added new rare loot drops, which I believe some of these now have multiple affixes on them now, and they added 2 new difficulties which you can switch on the fly while playing the game as well. Your way you've been playing is considered normal now, and now they have hard and extreme difficulty modes. What do you think? And anything specific popping out to you?
This is awesome. Specifically the difficulty change, because that was the biggest thing that was actually a huge part of a lot of people's reviews before even bought the game. They said the game was too easy. And when I played as well, I didn't see it as a negative because I like the fun factor of the game. My favorite thing about Ni no Kuni is the visual charm and the fun factor. I don't play that game for a challenge, but I do feel like I walked through it. There's one part that I felt like it just ramped up out of nowhere, and I had to grind a little bit.
There's a couple fights where I went, what is going on?
Most of the game I was like, oh, that was fun. Oh, that was fun. All of a sudden I got killed. I was like, whoa, what the fuck was that?
Right.
I was like, okay, I'm going to go grind. And then I grind, and then I go like, oh, it's fun. It's fun. Most of the game's like that. So I'm glad they're addressing that, because whether you beat the game already or you're playing it right now and you think it's too easy, you can up the difficulty and get a better experience. Apparently, you get better loot, higher difficulty too, is something I read. And if you want to play the game again, but you don't want to go through that easy gameplay again, you can play it again on a higher difficulty, which I think is awesome. It adds replayability. The quality of life stuff, stuff I wasn't expecting. I've played the game quite extensively. I'm on the last chapter of the game, and I know you are too. Yep. And I haven't really found anything to really complain about. I mean, there's been a couple things I've been like, that could be better, but I can't really even think of any right now. I just remember there's something.
Nothing game breaking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think the game was already pretty tight. So a lot of the stuff here, it's just good to see them going, you know what, we can improve on that. I'm glad they fixed that bug with trainee priestess Spio.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't run into that.
Yeah, because I didn't know that was there, and I'm glad I never learned. Off. Yeah, because in a game like that where you invest that much time, I'd be fucking furious if there's something I couldn't do. Just because of the time investment. The added region names on the map is kind of interesting because it just kind of adds a little more flair to the game visually. This is just all around really cool. I'm glad to see that this game did well enough that it merited them to go like, you know what, let's improve the game. Let's make the experience better for people. But the difficulty and the new items, it's very cool because I mean that's stuff that nowadays we're getting a lot of free content, which is an amazing thing to be seeing again. And so when I think of stuff like this, I'm like, you didn't have to add new items to the game. But they did, and that's awesome. So I've been telling myself I need to beat this game. I'm on Chapter 9. Chapter 9 is the last chapter of the game. This makes me want to hop back in and play it. So it's pretty cool.
I had actually stopped myself from playing it to force myself to play the games I'm supposed to play this month. So
yeah,
I feel
it's really
on
fun.
That. Yeah, it is absolutely just a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Even like, Seth, like he said, he's almost at the end. He doesn't usually commit to role-playing games for that long. So
hell no.
So yeah, that's saying something. For me, the big standouts are the lock and unlock for equipment. I'm really kind of blown away that wasn't in the game in the first place.
What does that mean?
So like you can go, I can't sell this.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that shit always makes you nervous in most games when
Yeah.
you sell mass quantities of items you've got.
So I'm really, I think this is a good option for that. Another one that most games do is if it's on you, you're not allowed to sell it.
Yeah, I always appreciate that too because in old games I've sold shit that I had equipped on me and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then anything you want to save in your inventory too, you're like, I don't want to sell this.
Yeah.
I have like a situation I want to use this for. So I like that. But one of the big ones for me is the skirmish flag map because there's like at least 50 skirmishes in this game, and I can't remember which ones I've done. So I'm glad there's a way to
that's what that means.
recognize
That's
that.
fucking huge.
Yeah.
Because I've redone skirmishes I've done already before.
Yeah.
Because I was like, is this? I thought they disappeared or something when you beat them,
Well,
and then
some
like I
areas
did it.
there's,
I'm like, I've done this one.
multiple in one spot too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's huge for me.
Yeah, that's a fucking no brainer. Like I'm glad they added it.
Yeah, for sure. But other than that, I mean, bug fixes are obviously super important, especially when it comes to certain parts of the game or even a quest in one of these regards. So it's awesome. Hopefully, because the only reason, one of the big reasons they said they did this is just the amount of support they got on the game was huge, and they thanked everyone for that, which is always nice.
That's awesome.
And hopefully they do, some more quality of life stuff. I mean, I could think of a couple things right now. And they're not game breaking or anything like that, but there's a lot of places I would like to see them be able to let you fast travel to once you've been there, specifically in Chapter 6. The factory area is fun the first time.
Yeah. But going back there, I'm like, fuck,
And
do I want to go all
your
through
side
the
quests
floors?
make you go there
so
many times. So, and even though you get to the level where you're just flying through it all, it becomes tedious. So, nitpick, it's not game breaking. So, other than that, I do know there's a side quest. We have to get a certain type of item, which you get way earlier in the game. And if you're me, you sold it, and then trying to farm it again is a pain in the butt.
Is it the mushroom one?
It's boots.
Oh, yeah.
They need to increase the drop rate on that just a little.
There's some side quests where you gotta fucking find some shit, and it's really vague. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude, help me out here a little bit.
So yeah, just quality of life stuff, really. And you've already done something, which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Anything else? I mean, I've said my piece on this. I think it's awesome.
I need to beat it, but yeah.
Me too. But
Then I can move on.
The best thing about this is unexpected. I literally never thought about like, oh, they should update the game and they should add difficulty. I just kind of accepted this as the game and I liked it already. So it's just a cool surprise. And I would love to see them do more stuff with it. They're showing that they're already doing stuff with it, and I'd love to see some DLC, extended content, to prolong the experience.
Yeah, and I'm not usually a fan of people like rushing out games based off of something they've already made, but I would even take just another game that was incredibly similar.
A sequel that takes after this one, because the first one was neat and had a better story for sure, but this one's really fun. I really enjoyed playing this.
I would love them to expand as well on the castle building stuff because it's
Me
fun,
too.
but I wish it was a little more customizable.
Yeah, even if you could like change like colors of the building at the very least, or
where you build them.
Where you build them, still have the same stats on what they do, but be able to put them where you want them to be and rotate them. It's really basic stuff like that would make a huge difference. This is essentially a big skill tree.
Yeah.
The kingdom's your skill tree, and that's about it. which I really appreciate.
Yeah,
But
customization, make it your own.
but yeah, make your village look different than other people's village or kingdom would be really cool. So when they do a sequel, I'd love to see that.
For multiplayer aspects, let people visit your kingdom even.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's just a social thing, but
And do skirmishes together. That'd
That'd
be a
be cool.
basic thing.
Yeah.
This is a taste cast stuff. So yeah, overall awesome. Let us know in the comments. Are you playing Ni no Kuni 2? And if you're not, why aren't you? It's really fun. Even if you're not really into RPGs, it's fun.
unless you just can't handle cutesy stuff, then it might not be your.
I hate blonde boys. To each their own. But yeah, let us know about what you think about this update and the improvements. If you're playing it right now, are you excited for this stuff? And are you going to play it on higher difficulty? Which difficulty are you going to play it on? Let us know in the comments. And our last bit of news is a little late, but last week we kind of ran out of time to talk about it on Tastecast. So we're talking about it now. GameStop is reportedly looking for a buyer. This was rumored for a while, but they came out and essentially confirmed it. They also let people know that they are not for sure selling GameStop to anybody, but they are looking into talking with people, and they have financial advisors helping them through the process of potentially letting someone buy them out. But one thing that they are definitely interested in doing is maintaining the company as it is, or at least in the same direction as they're already going. So selling toys, hardware, software, and all that kind of stuff.
Cell phones.
Is worth noting also that their stocks had dropped until they made this announcement. Their stocks went up, I think, by like 2%, but they went down by like 11% over the last quarter, which is quite a bit.
It's gone down, was that 32% in the last year?
Yeah, in the last year. So it's quite a bit. And every article I've read so far, I'm kind of skimming because there's a lot of details here about like financial analysis stuff. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, they are not doing great, but they are still staying afloat. They have also, as anybody who's been in their store in the last year or two has noticed, they have fallen back on different ways of making money that's not about selling you brand new games. They went back to selling used games and made that a bigger priority. They've also sold a lot of toys and memorabilia, and they are also selling like phones and taking trade-ins and stuff like that. So these are kind of the signs of the times. Mostly, I want to talk about what do we think about, Toys R Us is gone now. Yeah. The last 200 stores are leaving, are closing finally. GameStop might be next. Obviously, there's something going on if they're thinking about selling the company. So really, what do we think about this specific news, but also the future of brick and mortar retail stores when it comes to gaming? I mean, there are still obviously stores out there like Walmart that are big enough to have a gaming section, so this isn't going to affect them as much. Best Buy, who has had issues in the past, but apparently they're doing fine because they're still around. Yeah. Target, whatever. There's a bunch of places out there, but the places that are dedicated to that, it seems like they are having issues. So what do you think about just the whole thing in general?
So it seems like back before it was all GameStop, GameStop had acquired like Software, etc., Funko Land and stuff like that. And those places, Funko Land specifically, already did like the toys and stuff like that, and being able to buy soundtracks and whatnot. So it seems like they're kind of going back to that, which is funny. And obviously because they have to figure out something, but I think it's inevitable. You got the people in the industry saying that within the next 1 to 2 consoles, everything's gonna be cloud based.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's one thing too that I didn't read just now, but something I read earlier when it comes to this. They're also saying another struggle outside of the digital aspect of buying games, but also that companies are offering ways to play their games at cheaper prices is cutting into used game trade-ins because people aren't buying games.
Well, that's what the
like Xbox,
Game Pass,
and
PlayStation now.
Yeah,
and it makes complete sense.
Yeah. Which is interesting to see all these new factors that are all completely cutting. Because before people were like, oh, you'll just download games in the future. Now people are like, you're not even going to buy games. People are just renting shit at this point. Like,
pretty much.
Anyway.
No, it's fine. So since used games even became a thing in a retail setting, the industry's had a problem with it. Because it's copies they're not selling, right? It's good for the consumer. It's not good for the people who make the games. It's good for the seller, obviously,
Oh, yeah.
because they make a pure profit off that. Especially when you GameStop and it's like $5 less. Anyways,
$5 less than they gave the person like $10
Yeah.
for like a $60 game they just bought a
if
week
they're
ago.
lucky.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the best thing they can do is either sell or like completely rebrand, because it is going to get to the point where, and there's going to be people who may not agree with this, but it's just, I mean, it's fact. Everything's going digital to cloud. I mean, those are the way it's going. And even someone like myself, I like buying physical games still and physical movies and stuff like that. It's more of like a collector thing. But I still do buy a lot of digital games too. It just depends on the title, you know what I mean? And places like Walmart, Amazon, Target, places you've mentioned, are still going to have that stuff. But if they're not selling enough of that, they have other things to fall back on.
Well, I also think too that the internet being as standard as it is now, it's not like this uncharted new territory of like experimentation. In some ways it is, but like when it comes to selling stuff, it's fucking down. It's already figured out. And the thing is, like, even if people still want physical copies of games, and those are not going to go away that quickly just because people want them.
They still
People
sell
said
CDs,
said for a long time that books are going to go away. Those aren't going away anytime soon. People like books in their hands. People also really like audiobooks. People like, digital books, all that shit. But the demand, if it's there, even if they disappear for a little bit, if Polaroids fucking came back. I mean, like, vinyl's huge. Like, these things are things people like and they want, and they'll pay money for it. I will too. I'm like, well, it's not 50-50. I buy a lot of digital games, but I also, if it's a game I'm really looking forward to, I buy it physically. I like having it physically, and that's to each their own type thing. But the point I'm trying to get to is GameStop does not need to be involved with that anymore. What used to be like, I want to get this game day one, I'm going to go into the store and buy it physically. You don't need that anymore. You can do that on Amazon. You can get it fucking in a day or two, or if you order it beforehand, you're going to get day one. I mean, like, there is no reason for GameStop to exist. It does not have a service anymore that is more valuable than what people can offer you already.
In the capacity it runs. Yeah. For sure. And obviously toy stores aren't doing so hot. So that avenue is not.
Which is really interesting because people like, kids like toys still. Like, obviously they like digital toys as well and video games, but like, that's seeing Toys R Us go away, and now potentially GameStop. I'm like, that's adding so much customer base to places like Target and Walmart.
Yes, it is.
That are already had a huge fucking base anyway. But now, like, in that absence, it's a lot of people who are just gonna be like, well, where do I go now?
Well, it shows. I hate even saying this, but it shows that consumers want convenience, right?
Yeah.
And the convenient thing about going to a website like Amazon or a store like Walmart is you don't have to go other places. It's all right there.
I buy from Amazon and Best Buy more than anywhere, and Best Buy only because I have that Gamers Club thing, and that's going to be gone.
Well, and even
the rewards,
even beyond that, there's the rewards, but it's not just a game place. You go in there, you're looking at cameras.
Oh, it's
you're
a toy store for me. Yeah,
you're looking at all the computer components.
Yep.
What's the new stuff that, like, I don't know, like SteelSeries or Razer has come out with, and you want to see what it looks like and actually get your hands on it because they have the displays up and stuff. Yeah, it's a giant toy store.
That's interesting, yeah, because it is so full of so many electronics. It's really hard for me to go into Best Buy and not walk out with something. It happens to me all the time. I walk in there just to like go to some other place at the mall, and like I'll walk through there. I'm like just staring at shit. I'm like, I don't have that. I don't know if I need that. And yeah, so that's the kind of the thing that Best Buy still offers. Whereas like GameStop, I go in there if I have to. If someone doesn't have what I want, when I go in there, like I see a bunch of shit I could get somewhere else.
Special things like collector's editions and stuff like that, because they're going to be more like.
Well, I got my Duke controller there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
and that was a fucking hassle.
Otherwise, I mean, Amazon's going to be your best bet for that kind of stuff.
And I love Amazon. Even though I really hope they don't take over and like the only seller, because they're really poised to do that. But
yes, they are.
But they're still way too convenient.
For sure, and that's what was my point in the first place. Is
sorry, I'm just thinking about consumerism now.
Consumers want convenience.
Yeah,
and GameStop is becoming less convenient.
Yeah,
so
it's a dark fucking little like box in the fucking wall that you crawl in there, and someone who doesn't know anything about video games is trying to get you to fucking pre-order everything and sign up for this, sign up for that, while you're just like, dude, I can barely see in here. Just give me the fucking game I'm in here for so I can get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a tough spot. Obviously, I could not tell them how to fix it because I'm not the right guy for that. All I know is I haven't had an interest in going into one of their stores in a very long time at this point because there are so many other. I mean, I hate to say this too, but I'd rather buy a game at Walmart half the time.
I buy things from Walmart or games from Walmart way more often. I mean, considerably. Like I actually do. I've bought maybe 2 things from GameStop in the last like 8 years.
Well, so you can like it's 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
walk into Walmart
and I want a
pick
game
up
right now
no one else is
physically.
open,
Yeah.
so if you want a physical copy, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're in a tough spot. Speaking of Amazon, I'd be kind of not surprised if Amazon decided to do that because for some reason Amazon has been investing in brick and mortar ideas lately.
That's what I was gonna say, but you gotta, because I was gonna say like it'd be interesting if like Best Buy can't do it, but like Walmart or Target, if they bought out GameStop to have like, you know, centralized game stores with their name on it, it'd be beneficial in some sense. But if the places don't pull in a lot of money, they'd be doing them a favor, if anything, buying them out. If Amazon bought them out, Amazon has so much fucking money and they're so well known that like they could make them like Amazon game stores all over the fucking place.
On top of being like Amazon drop locations for your shipments and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like it could just be like a complete Amazon store, but still be more focused on gaming
for sure,
and have like maybe like gaming rigs you can try and play there, and then like order your shit online. It's gonna be there, you know, when it comes out and stuff like that. Like an easier mode of or what's already easy of ordering online. You know, like that would make sense to me. That's one of the only ones I could really think of that would benefit somebody for buying them. Other than that, I think like if someone buys them, it's gonna be for like some kind of like, I don't know, assets acquired from them, or like they want the name. But I think they gotta make a fucking push in a direction that's not gaming, because they don't have a future in it. They gotta fucking go digital like everybody else, and that's gonna be almost impossible because everybody else that is fucking,
everyone's doing it themselves.
That is a market
EA's
that is
do it. Ubisoft's
that is
ready to do
packed.
It. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's doing it on their own. They don't want the middlemen. And then Steam for PC owns fucking digital games. And there's some guys who've squeezed in there, like GOG and a couple other people, which is awesome to see. But like, there's not a whole lot of room. GameStop's not gonna do anything there. I don't think they're gonna fucking. I mean, there's no Toys R Us. Maybe they could just become a fucking toy store.
Possibly.
That would be a good route for them.
Or purely collectibles or something, but that's pretty niche.
Collectibles is fucking niche, man. You go to the mall and you see people with like the fucking swords and the figurines and stuff. Like those places don't last. So GameStop, I mean, you know, they're gonna have a little better fucking chance at that just because their name and advertising ability. But like, it's not gonna fucking last them in the long run. So I mean, like, now's the time they got to really be evaluating the longevity of their name and whether it's time to change it to something else or not. Because if what was it, 30-something% in the last year, that's a fucking chunk. That's huge. In 1 year, that's a big fucking chunk to go down. So yeah, I get why they're trying to, like, they're looking at like, yo, somebody got a better idea than us that wants to buy this, like, because we're fucking sinking, and they are. And then we've seen it for a long time coming, but it's really crazy to see it come this quick. It's like a small fucking hole in a ship that finally, you know, you're like, it's fine. And then suddenly you realize half the ship's fucking in the ocean. And you're like, we got to do something. It seems like that's what's going on here. And honestly, I don't want to see them fail, but I'm not a fan of the company. I'm not a fan of the way they run things. They fucking don't pay their employees very well. They don't treat them very well. Their system for fucking their customers over to convenience other customers is a shitty practice that doesn't benefit developers of games. So I'm not a fan of the way they do business, but that's a lot of people's jobs. So it's hard for me to just hope they fucking go away. So hopefully something gets figured out, but it does not look good for them.
No.
Like, I don't see them lasting.
No, and I don't have, I'm in the same boat. I'm not particularly fond.
I mean, you worked for them.
GameStop. Well, I've tried to avoid actually saying that on camera. But yeah. I did work for them for like 4.5 years, and it was probably one of the worst jobs I've ever had.
Yeah.
So.
And you got fucked. without going into details on that. But like
That
it's
was
just
not company related though.
Yeah, well, but still, that whole experience wasn't that great. So yeah, I've just not been a fan of them for a long time.
Yeah.
But then you got people like Josh who only shops at GameStop, so he's gonna have
I
to.
think that's habitual at this point.
It is. He also really likes trade-in, and I think he sees the value in their trade-ins more than anywhere else. Because I mean, that's the biggest factor. But I think it's a little bit. And I don't want to speak for Josh, but just out of knowing the guy for fucking ever, I do think it's part habitual. He's used to just going to GameStop. His information's already there, all that shit. He's already part of whatever clubs they have. But also, yeah, I think he just assumes he's probably getting the best value, and GameStop does stay competitive. I mean, I went to Best Buy with a 2DS a little bit after they came out, and they offered me $2 for it, and I was more willing to break it right in front of that person just to see their reaction than take $2 for that, or give it to somebody. I'd get more value out of that than $2. So
For sure.
they have horrible trade-in values, but I like all the stuff they sell, so I still go there.
I mean, yeah, we're not going to Best Buy to buy you shit. So
Yeah, or sell my shit. So, although I really need to sell some fucking shit. I got a lot of electronics I'm not using right now. Anything else?
no, that was a long topic.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. That's why I saved it to the end, and that's why I want to talk about it on TasteCast, because there's a lot more there than, GameStop might have a new company buy them. Well, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
That's a long time coming and not so far out going, I think. So let us know in the comments. What do you think about GameStop potentially selling to somebody else? Do you think they should? Do you think there's a future for GameStop or really any physical retailer? What do you think about the future of physical games? And who do you prefer to buy your games from? I'm actually really curious about that because there's so many different venues, and I have my preferences. I'm sure you do too. And Josh loves him some GameStop. So, yeah. I think it's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, though. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check us out on Twitch, or check me out on Twitch at Tasty Senpai, all one word. Make sure to hit the notification button to know when I go live. You can also watch the streams on this channel. They also are uploaded on this channel if you missed them. Join the Discord down in the description. You can talk to us anytime. And we are on iTunes and other podcast platforms, so listen to us if you prefer that. And I think that's everything.
That's everything.
Make sure to play those games. Come back at the end of the month or end of the week. XCOM 2, Trials Fusion, and Warframe. Play those. Come back at the end of this week. We'll be talking about them. And until then, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And have a good week, guys. And take it easy.